Okay, this is the 2011 higher level paper. Question 1, section B is the orthographic question. Now, as you can see, I've just started because all of the measurements I have here are all just relating to the very basic information that's given. All the measurements are for this are on the sheet. There's no working out anything. There's only a matter of reading the drawings and transferring the measurements on to get the elevation. What I have done here. There's a couple of things that we need to be very careful of here. First of all, it asks us for an elevation in the direction of arrow A, and that's what we get when we look at arrow A. But then it asks us for an end view in the direction of arrow B, and arrow B is pointing this way. That means that our end view is going to be on the left hand side of our elevation. So that's something we really need to pay attention to, because we don't want to throw away easy marks. We might draw a perfect end view, but if we put it on the wrong place, we're going to lose marks for that. So I have come down from the top of my sheet about 150, 160 mil, and I've drawn my XY line across. And then I have come across from the side of my sheet, what have I come across, 180, and my elevation is on the right hand side of the page. My end view is going to be here, and my plan is going to be underneath. So I put a lot of information that's on the sheet into my elevation, different sizes, and you can see my light lines drawn across. A few things are coming up here that are probably going to are going to probably cause a couple of little problems. First of all, there is a portion of a cylinder here. It's kind of like a half cylinder, and it sits inside here, and it runs the whole way down to this sloped surface here. So straight away we should be copying to the fact that that surface there on the top is going to be shown as a semicircle, but as we look in this way, that cut surface there means that the cylinder, as we look in the direction of arrow B, we're going to see an elliptical shape, or a semi-elliptical shape in this case, where the cylinder is cut by a sloped surface. Okay, so there's a common theme in all these questions. That's really kind of always asked to show a cylinder or a curved surface that's cut with a sloped line, okay, or a slope plane. Okay, so I'm going to finish this in here. That circle, that semi-cylinder there is, from here, is measured over its radius 30. So there's my radius 30 there, and I'm going to just draw that line down here, and I can also continue that line lightly down into my plan, because I'm going to be starting the plan now in a minute as well. So I can just heavy that in. And there's one other small thing that is not possible to draw on the elevation, and that's the position of the line here where it's cut. We're given a measurement from here to here as 65, and because that's a flat surface there that's parallel to the plane that we're drawing onto, that cut there, that portion of it appears as a vertical line. But this portion here is sloping away from us, so we don't know exactly just yet where this line, we have to use our other views to locate where this line here is going to be, this point here where the line is going to be drawn back here. If we drew it now, we'd only be guessing, and that's not what we're at. So we're going to get on into our plan. So I'm going to come down a distance. What do we see? Let's check. My plan is about 90 millimeters. I'm coming down a distance of about 15-20 millimeters, and I'm drawing a horizontal line across. Now my plan is 90 millimeters. And that 90 millimeters, I'm breaking that in half into 45 and 45, so I can get a center line. And that's going to give me a line there and a line here. Okay, so what I can do now is, and what I'm going to do now is actually set up the starting line, or the starting position, for my end view. Okay, and I'm going to do this so I can establish my 45-degree line for carrying my points across. So if I draw my vertical line there and continue it down a little bit lower, and then I carry my line across from my plan, you can see that they cut each other here at this point here. So I come along with my 45-degree set square, and I just continue my 45-degree set square, my 45-degree line, and that's going to give me the line that will carry my lines across from plan to end view. Okay, so if I want to straight away, want to get my lines for my end view set up, I can come across there with my plan. There's the width of my plan, so I'm carrying them across. And I'm carrying that line there across. And then I'm going to carry them vertically into my end view. So it's going to go up there and there. And there I have the outline for my end view as well. But let's focus on the plan. Now I have my exam papers open before me, and just because I'm drawing them here, it's no point you copying them down line by line as I draw the lines. You need to read the drawing and take the sizes off the drawing and use this as a reference. Use this drawing as a reference rather than something to copy line by line, because you'll have no one to copy in a couple of months when you're doing your mocks and in your junior cert exam. So the first thing I need to start drawing is, I suppose, the base here. This comes to a point here and it extends back from there to there, so that actually gives me that kind of a shape there, a point at the front of my boat, like that. Okay, now my boat extends the whole way down there like that, and like that, and I can heavy them in with my felt tip pen afterwards. Now this portion here in the middle, I can carry all those lines down. That little circle there is going to come down, and a little window. And I think I have nearly all my other lines carried down. So now it's set in a little bit from the side here. So I'm just going to see how much it is set in, and looking at the top of it, it's 35 and 35 either side of the center line. So it's 35 there, and it's 35 here. That means it's set in 10 here and 10 here. And you should just get used to carrying those lines the whole way over to your 45-degree line, because you're going to be bringing them and swinging them up into a end view again soon. So where the square part sits on that slope surface comes down to here. So I'm going to get a heavy line here, and I suppose I can add in a couple of these as I'm going along now. So I'm going to get a heavy line that goes from there to there. Right, and that line will extend the whole way along here in line with the back part there. And the back piece will be shown like that. When I look down on top here, I see there's a square surface here, so there's a square portion there like that. And then this slope part here will appear in plan as a rectangle. So I'm going to carry that down. I'm just going to get my bigger set square. Carry that down there. Draw my line in lightly. And that gives me the position of that there, of that line there. Now we're into this portion here on the top, and that's made up of a semicircle that goes from here around to here and back around. So the center of that semicircle is located at that point there. So it's located along that line. Okay, so I'm going to take my compass, and I can set it to 35 if I want, but I also have those lines carried down. So there was my 35 there, carry the center down to here. So there is my semicircle drawn. Okay, now underneath that is this smaller portion of this half cylinder, and that line there carries down to here. So underneath that I'm going to have another semicircle, but this one is going to be dotted because it's hidden. Okay, there is a small hidden line here and here, and I can heavy in that. I can heavy in that line there. And really, let me see, what else have we got there? We have that little window extends, what do we see, 5 millimeters back into the body of the ship, or into the cab, or whatever you want to call it. Goes back in 5 millimeters there, and on this side. So I can just draw a light line across there, and again it's hidden, it won't be seen, so it's drawn in as a dotted line. So there's my window, it carries that line down there and down there, and so that line there is going to be dotted line. Hidden detail, that one there is going to be dotted line there, and then it returns back there, like that. And I think, have we got anything else in our plan? Pretty sure that's our plan taken care of there. Now there is going to be another line here underneath where that sloped edge there goes back in underneath, but we can't really draw that just now. That will appear in our end view here, our slope portion there and there, and then we can carry that line down and across. So one other thing that I'm going to do before I finish this is I'm actually going to, where we have a problem, where we have this ellipse, we have to mark that point, those points, and index that so that we can draw our ellipse in our end view. So I'm going to just do that now. So I use my 30 and my 60 degree set square. And I'll just number them 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now I need to finish, that's my elevation, my plan, and now I'll go on to another video and I'll finish the end view there.